We're going to go ahead. We're going to get started with our warehouse tours. So again, if you've got lunch, if you got something to drink, now is a great time to have some lunch, or if it's breakfast time, if you're joining us on the West Coast, thank you guys so much for hopping on early. Let's go ahead and get started with our first warehouse tour. We're going to take a look at Wizard Connection, which is down in Orlando, Florida.
Hello, welcome to Wizard Connection. I am Sue Bender. I am the founder and the owner of Wizard Connection. We have been in business for 29 years. We are a woman-owned business, and we are so excited that you're here today to venture into our warehouse. We want you to enjoy the ultimate experience of Wizard Connection. So welcome and have a wonderful day at Wizard Connection.
Oh, hello. My name is Richard Painter, VP of Creative Services here at Wizard Connection. Wizard Connection is a special design management production company. We have 60,000 square feet of warehouse space, with 9,000 of that being offices, custom fabrication shop, and 40,000 square feet of greenhouses off property in an agricultural area. When we started this venture of trying to find a software program to help us implement into our already operating processes, we found Goodshuffle. Goodshuffle integrated seamlessly in from sales to warehouse to finance, everything. So we're going to take you on a tour through our warehouse. You're going to hear from some other team members on how they're using Goodshuffle every day to make it easier on them and us.
Hi, I'm Kelly Burris, Senior Account Executive at Wizard Connection. Maintaining client relationships is the most important aspect to our sales team, and Goodshuffle helps us to do that. The directory allows us to store certificates, layouts, and payment terms, while the messaging feature allows for automated follow-up emails using handy templates. We are notified once a client signs the agreement and can quickly see when they have paid. Goodshuffle allows for our entire team to follow a project in real time, and that is a huge asset to our clients. I've been working in the industry for over 13 years. We've tried a few programs and nothing has compared to Goodshuffle.
We probably have around 5,000 or 6,000 different parts and pieces, from bars to foliage to centerpieces. Pretty much anything at an event that you need, we have. About 5,000 to 6,000 different pieces. So it is a great idea to have a batch system they have to input that into their system. ROI or cost analysis, anything that you in business that you doing on the finance side is key. Streamlining the process benefits us about 20 or 30% of our time. We can go all day long on what that provides back. So the efficiency of it is definitely key in how we run our business.
Would you take a look at this set? Hi, my name's Sky and I'm an account manager here at Wizard Connection. I work alongside our creative team to help design events. This is our showroom where we're showcasing a theme, Asian Night Market. As you can see in our showroom, there's a lot of inventory items here that are very complex and have different pieces on it. Goodshuffle allows us to have our inventory items have the parts and pieces attached already, which is super helpful when transferring the event over to operations. Not only is our inventory complex, props having multiple parts and pieces, it is also very versatile, easily adaptable for the different themes our clients present us. All you do is change the accent decor dressing the prop. The accessory feature creates fluidity between departments, allowing for a seamless transition from the creative team's design to the operations execution.
Hi, my name is Daniel with Wizard Connections. I'm one of the leads here. So basically, we get really busy. We're a really busy company, and there's a lot of moving parts in this company. So mistakes are bound to happen. Ever since we implicated Goodshuffle, it mitigated those mistakes down to zero. As long as you follow it step by step and use a program which is very easy to use the way that you're intended to use it, then it's good to go. For example, we had a project not too long ago that we were actually in a ballroom, and so they wanted like a pirate theme, and we actually have a pirate ship here with some pirates and stuff like that. So we set up the cannons, we set up reefs, we set up a big pirate ship. It was simply amazing. Like honestly, we have a really good time doing it, and the clients were flabbergasted. They were blown away. We get that personal satisfaction from seeing the clients and how satisfied they are with our projects and our work. And Goodshuffle has been a big part of that. So not only is the software on a desktop computer, it's also on a tablet. So it makes it super, super convenient. So as I walked in a warehouse and we're doing a project, and I could literally pull up what the project needs, how to pull it, how to prep it, and make sure that it's that specific show. And the best part about it, which I think is the most valuable of the Goodshuffle, is the fact that we have inventory management and yes, inventory conflict.
Here at Wizard Connection, we're always trying to do the next best thing. We're trying to break barriers, get out of that box, so to speak. Into the future, we're very, very excited about it.
All right, that was our first warehouse tour. That was Wizard Connection down in Orlando, Florida. We're going to keep things going. This is 5-Star Rental down in Denton, Texas.
Hi guys, welcome to 5-Star Rental. I'd like to invite you to come on into our showroom where we can show you where the magic happens. As I said, this is our showroom. There are times that people will visit our website and they'll build a wish list through our software, Goodshuffle. That's what we love about Goodshuffle, is the fact that they can start it there. And then if they are wanting to actually see the linens and see the different fabrics, different dishware, they can come into the showroom. Whether they've started a wish list or whether they start the order when they get here, we can do both. We pull out an iPad, they come in, and we actually have tables set up throughout the showroom to showcase different chairs, different linens, different runners, different dishware, different ways that the napkins are folded. That is something else that we do offer for some of our venues, is we'll actually offer a setup option where we'll actually go out, deliver the linens, set them up on the tables, fold those napkins so that everything is there when a customer arrives at their venue. They just have to come in and then put all of their stuff down. One of the great things about Goodshuffle also when it comes to an order is the fact that whether I start an order or someone else starts the order, it doesn't matter. Anyone can access it at any time. And there's actually a log that logs who actually made those changes on the order. We can know who created it, who's made changes, those are dated. We love that feature of it. Also too, when people are planning events, there's all different kinds of layouts. There might be timelines, that sort of thing. So those are things that we can actually attach to a customer's order through the software. That has been a feature that we have loved, because then whether it's us here in sales or the warehouse, either one, they can all access that information. And it's handy for them. They can access it on their phone, on the computer. They can access it here in the office, the warehouse, at home, on the weekend. But again, this is where all the customers come in and they can actually see the products, touch them, feel them. We have all of our different fabrics up here so they can actually look at those. Sometimes it's so hard to see that on a computer to know which one they want. And so many times they'll come in with one idea, but then they switch once they come into the showroom. That's also an added benefit, because actually if you can get them into the showroom, a lot of times then too, they will see all of your products and they'll add things maybe that they haven't thought about. That is great for sales, great for revenue to do those added benefits. We also have, one of our smaller tents, a 20 by 20 out here. Also, a lot of times people will walk in and they don't have a clue what size tent they need. We do have a tent sizing chart that they can look at. So something else that we like to do is each month we like to focus and showcase a different vendor. So we actually allow a vendor to come in and use one of our tables and set it up how they would like to. They can either use our items or they're welcome to bring in items that they own. And they can leave their brochures and their business cards on the table and we can showcase it. We do this for planners, for florists, anyone that's in the business that would like to showcase their business. One great thing about that is because then you are sharing the love with vendors. Think of it as, you're not only giving them free advertisement, but they're also going to return the favor and they're going to be recommending you. They're they're going to then know also what all you have to offer, so that when they are meeting with brides, they can also share what we rent with their customers as well. So we kind of look at it as cross-marketing, but we do like to love on our vendors and show our appreciation by letting them come into the showroom and showcase their work.
Okay, I'm going to give you a tour of our back warehouses. We're going to start in here with our linen warehouse. We also do dishes and linen dry cleaning in here. Here on the left, you find our linen press and our iron. We fold and size our linens on this table. One issue we had was mislabeling our linens, so we've put all the sizes here on the table so we fold everything needed. And over here is where we do our washing department and polishing for all the dishes. So we gotta start out with our linens coming back, and we fill up these big red bins to get all the dirty laundry brought in. We then go on to the big wash machine and get everything washed and cleaned. We'll then open everything up on the table and make sure all the stains were removed, and then put on the iron to get everything pressed and straightened out. After that, it will then come out onto our table, and we have all the sizes laid out on the table so we can measure the linens and re-bag them and tag them and hang back up in the right section. Goodshuffle will tell us exactly where everything is on the shelf, so it makes it real easy for any guy to come in and find the right linen. When the dishes come back, we'll soak everything needed, and then we'll send it through the washing machine. Hannah will take care of all the bagging and polishing of all the dishes to make sure those are all inspected and clean. And then she will also prep all the orders that are going out on the exit tables at the end of the warehouse. So I'm going to take you guys onto the back that shows you where we store all our tinting, tables, chairs, restrooms, fencing, and all that kind of stuff. So welcome to our table and chair warehouse. This is where we house all our tables, chairs, and some of our staging. A few things we started doing this past year is bagging all our equipment, because it keeps everything dust-free and clean. For the carts, this is nice for will calls, so the ladies can grab a cart and easily bring it on the porch. But when it comes to putting items in a trailer, we like to take the wheels away so the things stay standing even nicer. Here you'll find a lot of our different styles of chairs, from Samsonite to garden chairs. This is where we house a lot of the staging that goes out week to week. This is our tinting warehouse. This is where we store most of our tinting parts. You can see the colored bags on the wall will identify the different style of tints and what size of vinyl would be in those bags, and the different lengths of poles and jacks to build these tints. We try to leave the floor all open because we need a room to mop them when they come back wet or dirty. So here in the middle of the room, we'll buff the tints between rentals, bag them and replace them on the shelf. And then we keep more of our brackets, parts here in the middle.
So hopefully through our tour today, you have been able to see something as far as in how warehouses are organized. Organizing didn't just come overnight for us. It is something that we have evolved into trying to keep a very organized warehouse. We found that between clean and dirty items, if we keep things organized, it's easier to keep it separated when it comes back, and we can identify and take care of those needs. When it comes to as far as on things being organized, I think it's important to be adaptable. Over the years, your inventory is going to change, and so your warehouse is constantly going to be changing. We began in 2011 with a very small area in a very small warehouse location, and now we've gotten to the size that we are now. We do have a second location in Denison. It's about an hour from here. They actually have even a larger linen inventory than what we have, as far as also a larger dish collection. But what's great is that we're able to transport those items back and forth in between our two companies. We actually do that through a neat feature in Goodshuffle. I would be glad to share with you if you wanted to reach out to us. But it has actually increased our inventory to where we have so much more to offer to our customers. So I think being adaptable, staying organized, those are huge. And I just want to thank you for joining us on our warehouse tour here at 5 Star Rental. Again, hopefully you have seen something that you can take away to improve in your business and make it a great day. Go out and make those magic events.
All right. right, awesome. Thank you so much, Cecelia and Ty from 5-Star Events. Again, folks, as questions come up, feel free to throw them into the chat. We're going to play our last warehouse tour from Preferred Events over on Long Island, my hometown. After that, any questions that came up in the chat, we'll be happy to turn it over to both Nick from Preferred Events or Cecelia and Ty from 5-Star to answer.
Morning, my name is Nick Mattera. I am the president and founder of Preferred Events, located in Farmingdale, New York. Today we're here with Goodshuffle Pro to do a warehouse tour. Super excited to show you guys around. We've been at this location for the past 5 years and plan on staying and growing in this facility. So hopefully you can take a look, maybe get some ideas for yourself. Follow me. Our loading area, we have a bay door here. The trucks come in and out on a regular basis. Ryan, our warehouse manager, is in the back. Typically what we'll do, we'll have the load sheets printed from Goodshuffle. We'll put them on a board here or over here on the side so our warehouse employees can pick and load all the items that are needed for the truck for that day. So this is kind of like a staging area, part one. And if you follow me towards the back, I'll show you some of the different items that we have. This is where we keep our cleaning supplies and knickknacks that are needed for the trucks. We switch them out on a daily basis. Every truck gets its own cleaning bucket, its own box of straps, things like that. So it's nice and close to the truck, make it easy for everybody to grab those items in and out. Most of our large tent NaviTrack profile tents are located either here or outside for easy access in and out of the trucks. We keep most of the common items closer to the front just to make the loading and unloading a little bit easier, like the tables, as you can see. If you keep coming down this way, we call this like tent row. So this is where all of the tents are housed, all of the piping on this side. We have bags of tents up and down. This facility is 10,000 square feet. We have 16-foot ceilings, so enough room to use a forklift in this aisle in and out. Makes it a little bit easier for loading and unloading. Once we got Goodshuffle Pros, we started labeling all the items because with Goodshuffle Pro, we're allowed to break down the tents into individual pieces. Instead of just saying it's a 20 by 30 tent, we can put out the components. So we put on the load sheets where they're located in the warehouse, so all the warehouse employees know exactly where things are going. Makes it a lot easier for loading, and I know Ryan, who's somewhere here, loves that part. Nobody ever misses a piece, and just makes everything a lot easier that way. This area is our cleaning and secondary staging area, so we have a large open space. We have this rig that we put up here to lower and raise tents. We've seen a lot of this other warehouses, so this comes down and goes back up. Just makes it easier for the guys when cleaning some of the supplies. We originally had storage in this facility, but we moved some of that outside because we needed a larger space when you're doing a little bit more volume and you need a space to clean things often. Back here, we do a lot of in-house building of products. So we build tables, we build certain furniture items, we build bars. So we have a little workshop back here. So some of the tools, prototypes, things that we're building, we kind of store here. We keep our wood, just everything nice and compact in different areas throughout the warehouse. And again, like on the Goodshuffle Pro load sheets, you know which section of the warehouse they're in, makes everything easy for the guys. This area is where we stage a lot of our tables and chairs, so some of our cocktail tables just for easy use. This is actually Ryan over here. He is our warehouse manager. He's the mastermind behind pulling all the items, getting everything ready for the customers, making sure there's no issues on the load sheets. So all of the tables and chairs are kind of in this row, and then we also built a little loft above hand for some of the lighter items that are not necessarily used as often, but they're easy enough to carry up and down stairs where we don't need a forklift. Some things like small couches or specialty tables. We do carry some concession equipment, so some of that is upstairs as well. So this is more of the table and chair row. Keep a lot of our dance floors underneath here, everything on carts, make it nice and easy to move in and out. Over here is our dishwashing room, and we use this area to clean, store, and wash and get everything prepped and ready to go. And the storage of a lot of that equipment is back over here in this section, so keep everything bagged and wrapped. Glassware up and down, plates, forks, knives, all that in this section. So in this part, we have a unique little area. We call it like our soda section. So we have these custom built bars that we have made. They are a mobile soda bar. All right, so we just put together one of our soda bars. It comes with 2 guns, like in an actual restaurant, that are fully functional, have all of the necessary soft drink components that you would find at any restaurant. This bar, it's a collapsible facade, so this top comes off. This folds in together, so it saves a lot of space on the truck. We have a variety of different options, colors, sizes, but typically they have this U-shaped top so that whoever is working behind the bar can, use this with ease. So we keep all of our linens in here. We have a secondary room in the back. So this is where we keep most of our linens, organize it by color and size on the different racks and shelves. We got most of the colors you can think of. Any specialty items that we need, we do keep off-site, but we can order if needed. Typically on a daily basis, Christine in the front will print out the load sheets. We'll keep them here. We put different sections for the different trucks. So whoever the driver of the day is can pull their load sheet, meet with Ryan, and start pulling and organizing the things that are needed in the warehouse. Any important messages we'll put on the whiteboard. So inside of all of our trucks, we keep 3 rows of each rack. Just makes it a lot easier for strapping things down. We have 24-foot box trucks. We have a small 16-foot box truck. Most of our trucks are 24 feet just to keep the length of those long tent poles inside and covered. We are looking to add a flatbed to our fleet just because it makes it easier loading and unloading a lot of those big items like the block and roll weights or large tent tops, things like that, where you can't really get in from the back, you gotta load from the side. We also have lift gates on all of the trucks, just makes it a lot easier for loading and unloading when you're at the job site. Back here, it's a busy area. We have a lot of trucks coming in and out. We operate 5 vehicles typically at any one time. Most of them are out on the road today, but we do carry and keep a lot of equipment out in the backyard, wrapped up with tarps and things like that, but a lot of items like ultra deck flooring, plywood, things like that. So if you follow me this way, of course, propane tanks, things like that we'll store over here. We use the block and roll system to anchor any of our tents down that are not able to be spiked. And then we do keep, like I said, a bunch of things stored out here. The property that we own goes all the way down. We have a couple C-box containers filled with equipment, additional pipes and storage outside. Just makes it a little bit easier inside the warehouse when you're able to keep some things outside. So side yard property is huge. If we did ever move, we'd be continuing to look for a space that has a lot of features like that.
Hi, I'm Christine and I work here at Preferred Events. We use Goodshuffle Pro every day and it allows us to contact our clients pretty seamlessly and quickly as well. We're able to email them with preset messages so we don't have to retype the same thing over and over. We're able to update the contract in real time, which the clients love as well because they can see it immediately as we're on the phone with them. I also love the features in Goodshuffle Pro that allow us to update all of the inventory. We're able to do it really quickly and efficiently, and we don't have to go through too many hoops to update all of our items, which is very convenient for us because we're constantly changing things here and updating things. Goodshuffle Pro is as well. They send us a lot of different updates. They've done things such as adding other message features, and they are always available if you have any questions or you need to chat with someone. We really recommend them.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and welcome to working with Goodshuffle Pro with me. Preferred Events, this is Stephanie. A baby shower on September 7th? Okay. What are you looking for? Cross back chairs. Have you been a client with us before? What's the name? Okay, Christine, give me 1 second. All right, September 7th, busy weekend for us, I know that. Yeah, just happens to be a really popular wedding weekend. I hope so, let's see. All right. No problem. I'll send this over to you any minute. Great. Thanks so much, Christine. Have a great day. Bye. Super easy. Such a bummer that we don't have them available for her this date, but that's what's easy about using Goodshuffle Pro. You can easily see what days the events are booked for and what furniture conflicts come up. It's really awesome.
And there you have it, our 3 different warehouse tours. Again, everyone, we do have Cecelia and Ty from 5 Star Rentals on the call. We also have Nick from Preferred Events on the call as well. So I'd like to turn it over to all of you. If you have the webinar chat pulled up, feel free to go ahead and throw a couple of questions in. I just went ahead and I sent a message to the webinar chat to you guys. That way you can go ahead and get started asking any questions. The chat will pop up for you. One question that did come in during the tour, actually, I wanted to turn it over to Cecelia really quick. You mentioned that you showcase a couple of vendors. You do kind of like a weekly showcase of some vendors. What are some of the vendors that you showcase, and how has that helped you kind of like build a bit of a network of other vendors?
So actually, we do it monthly, and we actually schedule, so that way all of their literature, business cards, that sort of thing is actually out in our showroom to be showcased for a whole month. We invite photographers, florists, planners, all of them come in, and they can either use our items or they can use their own items to decorate a table and showcase it. It's helped quite a bit. Just build those relationships to where then they think about us first whenever they're needing anything for their customers.
Oh, that's awesome. So in terms of thinking about you guys first, does that just mean like, hey, we're recommending you in our warehouse, so you're the first name that comes up to their minds if anyone asks them about tents, about dishware, things like that?
Hopefully so, yeah.
Hopefully so. Got it. No, that's awesome. This next question, this came in for Nick. Somebody wanted to ask, how has it helped you to have your own fabrication and cleaning area in your warehouse? If you wanted to speak to that a little bit. Nick, you are currently muted, just a heads up.
There we go. So cleaning, first of all, was a huge part in that back area. We used to have to clean outside, but once we got a little bit larger of a space, it was apparent that we needed an open area. So a lot of tents that come back wet, sometimes they just need to air dry. So we put that contraption up and down to help kind of make that a little bit easier. And then for fabricating stuff, a lot of times things are one-offs. So we'll buy, instead of buying something, we can build it for a better price and keep it in-house and rent it. So we've been dabbling in that as well. And I think it's been really helpful to kind of expand, and it allows us to kind of offer different products or customized products for certain commercial accounts, things like that.
Another question that came in as well was, do you ever book out your cleaning area or drying area to other companies? Like, is there other tent companies that you'd offer to clean their tents if they don't have the same services that you do in your warehouse?
That would be awesome. We have not. That's a great idea. I think the next iteration of that will be when we get a tent washing machine. Those really would allow us to do those services for other companies instead of hand washing it, because it does take a significant amount of time to hand wash each of those tents. So to add that work on top of the things that we're already doing might be a little much, but once we get a tent washing machine, I think that'll definitely be a revenue stream we could add on.
Got it. Cool. We have a question from Chris. This is directed over to Cecelia. Do you offer items for sale as well as rental in your showroom? And if you do, are you handling those transactions inside of Goodshuffle Pro?
So most of the items that we offer are all for rental. There are a few things like disposable plates, that sort of thing. And we usually just put those in Goodshuffle and put them in a separate section from the rental items. We just put those in a separate section there. Other than that, sometimes we will sell things that are outdated or that we're no longer using. And then we do put those in Goodshuffle. Once we do, then we then zero it out of the inventory. So yeah, we put it through Goodshuffle, record the transaction, and then we can go in and alter the inventory to have those either set aside or adjust that inventory for what we sold.
Got it. Awesome. And another question for both of you, Cecelia and Ty. For your linens, this came in from Sarah. For your linens, how many can you typically wash in a day? And also, what are your buffer times set at?
So typically we can get 30 to 40 linens in a wash load, and it takes about an hour for that wash load. So it just depends. Now that is for the larger linens. So, you know, our linen team usually runs about 8 hours a day. So you can get about 8 of those wash loads done a day. So you're looking at about 320 linens a day.
Gotcha. Awesome. This question goes over to Nick. This came in from Kathleen. At what point did you start to organize your warehouse with a slotting system? Nick had said you can see in Goodshuffle exactly where in the warehouse an item lives. When did you start doing that, Nick?
Yeah, so we were at a point where instead of prior to Goodshuffle, we had each tent kind of pre-built in boxes. So I had like a 20 by 20 in a box, a 10 by 20 in a box, and so on and so forth. And you get to a point where you have enough tents that it doesn't really make sense to keep 100 different boxes scheduled, you know, all over the place in the warehouse. So Ryan and I put together a bunch of racks in a row. We labeled the names of the racks, like rack 1, 2, and 3, and different shelf numbers. And then we put each of the components of the tents into those different bins, and then associated that with the internal notes on each of the items in Goodshuffle. So if a tent part is in aisle 3, bin 2, it'll say it on there. And then I also put, which I think really helps a lot for newer guys, we took a photograph of each piece of the tent and we put that in each of the items within the category. So as you build a 20 by 20 or whatever size tent you're building, you'll know what the corner casting looks like. You'll know what the rafters look like. You'll know what the center peak looks like if you have that. So it just depends on what pieces you're putting together. But by the more labeling that we did, the easier we found it when pulling.
Got it. And just so everyone knows, you're currently using attributes for that labeling. Is that how you're accomplishing that in Goodshuffle?
No, we just have it in, I think it's in, man, Christine's going to kill me. I think it's just in like the labeling, like in the name of it, where it tells you, yeah, it might be in the attribute, but there, I think there's like an item description where we can see exactly what it's called. Hang on, I gotta pull it up. Should know the answer to that.
While he's pulling that up, I also do wanted to go to the next question here. This came in from Grovert, and for now, Cecelia, I'll turn this over to you. How do you determine when to buy an item or dive into a new category? Are there factors that you're considering, such as cost, space required, any loss leading items, things like that?
So usually when we get the request, so if we get a request for something that we do not have, then we start looking and evaluating as far as, is it more cost efficient to go ahead and buy it? Is it something that we're going to see other people needing it also? You know, we do have friends as far as in the rental business that we will all kind of sub-rent from one another. So a lot of times you just end up having to look at the cost and just decide whether or not it's cost efficient for you to buy it, or whether it's better to just sub-rent it from a friend and then move on. You know, we look at every order. You never want to tell a customer no. So if it's something that we don't have, then we do try to reach out to our friends if we don't have something available, or if we're sold out at the time. Like I said, one of the key things I learned long ago is when it comes to sales, if you don't have it, don't tell the customer no. Instead, try and reach out and get it for them. So whether that be adding it to your inventory or, you know, sub-renting it from a friend.
Gotcha. Awesome. Nick, I'm going to turn the same question over to you. How do you determine when to buy an item or dive into a new category? One of the things that you mentioned you guys did was you built that custom soda bar, which is something that even DJing events, I have not really seen the actual CO2 guns. So how did you determine that that was something that you were going to build on your own? And what other factors do you consider when you're purchasing or building new inventory?
Yeah, sure. Just to finish the other one, it was in internal notes. We write the name of where it is in internal notes.
Gotcha.
My rule of thumb is usually if I have to sub rent, I agree with Celia. We really don't say no. We have a lot of friends in the Long Island, New York area that if we don't have something, we'll reach out to them first or ask around, try and find the particular item for a client to try and keep everything else in-house. Because if there's one thing that you don't have, somebody else might have it and they might take the entire job away from you. So usually what we'll do is if I have if I've sub-rented something 3 times in the same season, I'll typically find that it's worth it for us to purchase it. Or if I have something actually booked out with enough time 2 times, we'll usually buy it. It just depends on the size of the item. Obviously, the larger the item, the longer of a decision-making process that is. But for like the CO2 guns, we had work with the soda bars that you were asking. We had worked with a couple of caterers, and we happen to just have somebody that works for us who used to work for Coca-Cola, and he kind of presented it to us as this cool, fun way to do that. And then based off of that, we've been able to build almost like a separate bar business that allows us to sell these soda rentals to companies on its own as add-ons for caterers. So it's certainly a unique item that we kind of just fell into, really.
That's awesome. You briefly mentioned, this is a question that came in from Krista. You briefly mentioned if you book it out in advance or if you sub-rent it 3 times, how are you typically tracking that in Goodshuffle Pro? Like how many times an item is booked out in the future?
So, I mean, when we'll know when something's booked out, we can go into the item usage and we'll see what it, we can track it over the next 6 or 12 months. And then in each of the items, we'll see in the fulfillment tab, we can obviously see if it's sub-rented or not. So if I've noticed that something's been sub-rented a couple of times, we'll talk about it as a team and figure out if that's something that we really want to dive into. They're pretty, even certain items like we used to do inflatables, and we don't really do that anymore. So we'll sub-rent that out. It's not something that we really want to get into, but larger tents, like we just started getting into 80 wide pole tents. We had subbed those out a couple times. And now that they have been going out enough, I think it's time for us to kind of dive into that. There's no real formula. I mean, I want to say back in the day, maybe like 6 years ago, the rule of thumb was if you can sell something around 10 times, at least in our world, you started making your money back. We felt good about that. With the price of things now, it's hard to keep that number the same. So it's really just a case-by-case basis. If I feel confident, a lot of it's gut. If I feel confident that we can move forward and continue to build, we'll buy it.
Gotcha. This question came in from Sarah for Cecelia. Do you ship out of state or only to local businesses if you're selling any particular items?
If we're selling or renting. So if we are selling, then we have shipped out of state if it was something that we were putting up for sale. However, for rentals, we do not ship rentals. We do keep those local within probably 2 hours is the max that we do, and just simply there, just because of the cost of the delivery, then that's what kind of limits the delivery. We do that calculation through Goodshuffle. We let it do the calculating, and so a lot of times if they see a really high delivery, then they'll tend to go with someone who's a little closer to them. But we do go up to about a max of a 2-hour radius from us. But only items that we were selling would we ever ship.
Gotcha. Okay. And then the last question, I'm going to, Cecelia, have you answer this one first, but this is a question for both you guys and for Nick. Do you have an expected annual rate of return, and do you compare items using lifespan when calculating return on investment? So are you pulling return on investment in Goodshuffle Pro? And if so, how are you guys looking at that information?
So I actually look at the different items monthly because I actually do QuickBooks separate from Goodshuffle. And so I actually look at the different categories monthly as far as on what is going out, that type of thing. We do look at it to see, you know, what is bringing us in more revenue so that then we can focus on those particular categories. I do not use, you were mentioning, what was it, the lifespan?
Mhm.
What were you saying?
That's correct. Yeah. Do you compare items using a lifespan, like the amount of time that you guys have had that particular item in your inventory?
And I'm not actually looking at that, I guess, through Goodshuffle, other than I'm looking at those different categories monthly. I feel like, you know, if you're pretty in touch with your inventory, you're going to know when you haven't touched something in quite a while.
Gotcha. And then Nick, same question to you. Do you have you know, expected annual rate of return? And if you're calculating ROI, how are you calculating that on your items?
Yeah, I don't have an exact lifespan calculation. Like so you said, it's hard to say because I've had items that don't really take up that much space and they haven't gone out in a while, but that's the one thing that I use to get a job. And so I've kept it. You know, it's been like almost like a lucky item. But we do look through Goodshuffle Pro on a monthly basis also to see how much an item's bringing in, and we can kind of tell if items aren't making sense or not. Like I was saying before, for example, with inflatables, we used to do a lot of inflatables. We realized that we're not really as competitive price wise with other companies because we focus on tenting. So for me, you know, we had 30 inflatables and 2 of them went out. So I sold the 28 off and I kept really the 2 for like my niece and nephew when they need them. So there are items like that, you know, that I'm sure people can find in their warehouse by doing the same thing, but it's everyone, at least here, kind of knows what's going out and what's not. And Ryan in our warehouse will be like, hey, there's, you know, dust collecting on this thing. It hasn't, you know, can you check if it's gone out in a while? And we'll kind of have a litmus test that way.
Got it. Cecelia, Ty, Nick, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day, not only for letting us come to your warehouses to shoot the tour itself, but also joining this session. Really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and end this session. We have our next session starting up, a video put together by Colin, which had a lot of snippets of various clients and stuff like that. So again, Cecelia, Ty, Nick, really appreciate you guys. We're going to get these warehouse tours up on YouTube so we could share them. So if anyone didn't see them or you wanted to share them with your team, you're welcome to do so. I'm going to close this out now. Feel free to head back into that Zoom lobby and you can open the next webinar with Colin. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.